And so welcome back to another one, you guys. If you are new to the channel, my name is Andrew with Younger Toyota in Hagerstown, Maryland. For more information on our inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we are in the brand new 2024 Toyota Prius because this thing has a brilliant design. You get 50 plus miles per gallon, which is absolutely insane. So ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as you can imagine, there are a few different trim levels for the 2024 Prius. First one being the LE, starting at $27,650, which by the way is a modest $200 bump from the 2023 model year. So typically I'm used to seeing a heck of a lot more than that, so that's not that bad. XLE starting at $31,095, and the Limited, being the one we were in today, starting at $34,665. That was all pricing for the front wheel drive. If you wanted to add all wheel drive, you can do that. Simply add $1,400 then to any of those prices. But regardless of trim level that you go with, the power plant on the Prius is going to be the same. Powering the little beast is a 2-liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder with a lithium-ion battery, putting out a combined 196 horsepower for the all-wheel drive, 194 horsepower then for the front-wheel drive, 152 pound-feet of torque. Again, power sent to the front wheels or all wheels through a CVT. 0 to 60 time actually an impressive 7.1 seconds. It did not used to be that way, so you gotta love that. Top speed, if you're interested, 115 miles per hour, with MPG numbers differing pretty substantially dependent upon the configuration and the trim level that you go with. So for the front wheel drive LE, you're gonna get 57 in the city, 56 on the highway. For the front wheel drive XLE and Limited, you're gonna get 52, 52. For the all wheel drive LE, 53 in the city, 54 in the highway. And lastly, for the all wheel drive XLE and Limited, being the one we were in today, that one's gonna give you 49 in the city, 50 on the highway. All of those though, taking regular unleaded fuel to save you a little bit of money there. So before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in our Prius, I did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. There's a little toggle switch located directly behind the shifter. Those drive modes will include custom, sport, normal, eco, and EV mode, of course, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the steering sensitivity. So now that I've got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put this acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2024 Toyota Prius here up to speed. All right, you guys, in 3, 2, 1, go! Instant, whoa! That instant punch is pretty sweet. Wow, 60, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Let me tell you guys, like, the Prius didn't used to be this way. I absolutely love it. I remember reviewing it last year, and this is a heck of an acceleration for what you think the Prius is really going to be, because you think it's going to be slow, and it's just going to be a fuel-efficient, really, really slow car, but it's not. It's a fuel-efficient, really, really kind of quick car, believe it or not. Like 0 to 60 and 7.1, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not going to have any issues in merging onto the highway. And again, because it's a hybrid, because it's got that battery power as well, it's instant acceleration, much more so than a naturally aspirated engine, and a heck of a lot better than any turbocharged engine could ever pull off on the initial get-go though. So that is pretty darn cool. I actually love that acceleration for the Prius. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, you guys know braking is equally important. And so up front for the front wheel drive, you're going to find 11.1-inch ventilated front discs. Up front for the all-wheel drive, you're going to find 12-inch ventilated front discs, and then 11-inch solid rear discs. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, comes in at 123 feet. And since no one's behind us here, it's brilliant. I love the braking feel on the Prius. Definitely on the firmer side of things, it does instantly bring you to a stop. I gotta put down the sun visor, it's just too bright, but yeah, there is 100% nothing wrong with that braking feel. It's like a sports car braking feel, quite honestly. I absolutely love it. This thing's really impressing me. Touching on suspension and handle, like up front, you're gonna get a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension. Of course, front and rear stabilizer bars. As far as ride quality goes, there's some smooth roads here in Hagerstown, I will say that. So in my short little test drive here today, it's been 100% on point, absolutely no issues there. And since I'm still in sport driving mode, the steering feel is brilliant. As far as steering feel goes, I love it. This car's just fun, man. Like, it's so much better of a steering feel than the Camry, than the Corolla. Heck, I would even say it's probably better than the Civic as well. This is a very heavy feel to the steering, instantly pointing you in the direction that you want to go. Not as good as Tesla, of course, but it's dang good on that steering feel. So this is definitely a car you could actually have some fun with on the back roads, I'm telling you. I love it. As far as cabin noise goes, it hasn't been that bad in my short little test drive here today. You do tend to hear a little bit more of the road noise and a little bit more of the engine noise, but it's nothing that would bother me. It's perfectly fine in my short test drive, so absolutely no issues there. Touching on visibility, the ice is still back there a little bit, but other than that, rear visibility is perfectly fine. Now, it's not gonna be as good as a Corolla or a Camry or anything like that, but it's one of those things you kind of get used to. So it's not that bad, but it's not going to be as good as some of the competition. I'll just put it that way. Now, touching on forward visibility, I've seen and read a couple other reviews on the forward visibility about how when you adjust the steering wheel up and down, it doesn't account for the gauges and the gauges don't adjust with it. So there is a little bit of the steering wheel, the top part of the steering wheel kind of blocking the gauges. I can still see my speed though. I'll say that because the steering wheel is low enough that I can still see my speed. And I kind of do like that the gauge cluster does sit up a little bit higher there because it actually helps you keep your eyes better on the road because you don't have to look down as much, whereas you typically do in traditional gauges. So I actually don't mind that as far as forward visibility goes. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2024 Toyota Prius. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2024 Toyota Prius finished in supersonic red, in case you were curious of our exact exterior color name that we had on this one. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the Prius is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter J, indicating that the new 2024 Prius is still built and assembled in Japan, as it should be in my opinion. But let's go ahead and start up front on the Prius here. Active grille shutters actually do come standard, meaning grille shutters are going to open and close dependent upon the engine cooling that is needed at any given time. Bi-LED headlights do come standard for every single trim level across the board. They are projector style, so added illumination at night there. They do come standard with LED daytime running lights. That's going to be that C-shaped lighting that you guys see there. Definitely a nice look to it. You do get the automatic feature, of course, as well with those headlights, meaning when it starts to get dark at night, the headlights will turn on automatically for you there. And automatic high beams also coming standard. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. And when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams for you there. So definitely a very convenient feature there as well. But I love the front end. I'm so glad they redesigned the Prius. This doesn't even look like a Prius anymore. This thing looks amazing. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so but now since we are around to the side of this one, gloss black window surrounds do come standard. Taking a look at the side mirrors, they are gloss black power adjustable side mirrors for all trim levels. They will also be heated for all trim levels then as well. Then take a look down at the wheel setup, 17-inch alloys with covers for the LE, but then 19-inch alloys for both the XLE and the limited trim. That, of course, is what you guys are looking at right here. I do like the all-wheel drive badging found on the front doors. That, of course, is if your Prius is equipped with all-wheel drive. I do like the low front hood line as well. That definitely looks good. I probably should have said that when we were at the front portion of this review, but overall, nice side profile, very aerodynamic. And in case you guys didn't notice, as far as the rear door handles go, I'm just going to get up a little bit closer here. There's actually a rubberized button within there. That is how you're going to go ahead and open that up. It's not actually on the door itself like on the front door, so a little differentiation there. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and make our way to the back. All right, and so now since we are around to the back of this one, another very good look on the Prius. All the way to the top, gloss black shark fin antenna. Just below that, you're going to find some Prius lettering spelled out horizontally, finished in kind of like a gunmetal type of color there. LED taillights, really an LED light bar, does come standard across the board. You're also going to find some trim level badging back there, except ours is going to say LTD, which of course stands for limited trim. One of the coolest things about the back end here, I'm going to show this to you guys. I'm going to take off the plate here for a second. I'll get some B-roll here. It's behind the license plate. It does say since 1997, so it is completely hidden. Nobody in the world is going to know it's there except for you because you're watching this video. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you don't mind and like the video. But anyways, just below it all, you will find a single exhaust outlet. It is tucked away kind of underneath on the passenger side there. You guys can see that on this super cold day here. So having said that, we'll give this a shot. Keep in mind, this is a hybrid. I'm not sure this is going to work, but as always, here is that exhaust clip. All right, so I guess now is as good of a time as any to mention my miles per gallon in my short little test drive here today. Now, I only went 14 miles in my total drive here, but I did manage approximately 64 miles per gallon, so that is pretty darn impressive. So that goes to show you, I did this with my Civic back in the day. I actually ended up getting an average of 10 more miles per gallon than it advertised, and that's kind of the same with the Prius here. It advertises around 50 miles per gallon with the all-wheel drive limited here, and we ended up getting 64. So it depends on how you drive. I kept it in eco minus the acceleration test, of course, and I ended up getting 64. So depends on your drive, it depends on how you drive. It's definitely possible you can get more than those numbers that are originally advertised. But anyways, since we are around to the back of this one now, when it comes to opening that rear hatch there is a button on the key fob. There is also a button on the hatch itself, but it's actually a power hatch here on our limited trim, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 23.8 cubic feet for that LE trim, but then 20.3 cubic feet for the XLE and limited trim, so a little bit less there. There is a 60-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra space then if you needed it. LED cargo lighting found back there. You don't always find that. There's some chrome plated tie down anchors, and if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a tire inflator kit underneath of the cargo floor, but you do also get a little bit of in-floor storage actually as well, which is pretty cool to see. But then making our way up to the rear legroom, that is going to come in at 34.8 inches. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the back seats there. Rear center armrest with cup holders is going to come standard on our limited. I remember not seeing that on the LE trim level last year. No rear ventilation though, unfortunately, for any of the trim levels. Would have loved to have seen that, although this isn't the biggest car, so you might not need it. But dual rear USB charging ports do come standard here on our limited trim level, at least. I actually found heated rear seat buttons back there as well to spoil the rear passenger, so that was pretty cool too. But anyways, then make our way up to the front seats. Manually adjustable cloth seating does come standard. Softex upholstery for the XLE and limited trims. 8-way power adjustable front seats with power lumbar for the XLE and limited. Heated and ventilated front seats for the limited trim. I love these heated seats today because it is freezing outside. 28 degrees it says right now. That's nuts. Anyway, seat comfort was perfectly fine on my short little test drive here today, so definitely didn't have any issues there. Although I do wish the headrests were a little bit softer, because this will throw your head into the back of the headrest when you hit the gas originally. It's pretty quick. But then take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is going to come with a Softex finish, and it will be heated for the XLE and limited trims. Also had that on today. Very nice. But then making our way to the startup, let me start by showing you guys the key. You got your Prius lettering on the one side of the key. Then when you flip it over, lock, unlock, and that button to pop the rear hatch there. But it is all keyless entry with a push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just to the left of the center air vents there. And so once started up, you're going to be looking at a 7-inch LCD gauge cluster, and it's pretty cool. It's got some steering wheel mounted controls found on the left side of the steering wheel, so you can adjust to different things up there if you wanted to. There's actually a ton of stuff. There's safety features, audio information, there's a compass up there, fuel economy, I could go on and on, like everything you could possibly need. Outside temperature, how many miles you have left until you hit empty, so definitely a good bit. And you can actually slide that center screen, the digital speedometer, to the right and then to the middle as well. So there's a lot of customization with the digital gauges, and that's typically how it works. You also check out your driving modes up there as well, so definitely didn't mind them. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. You're going to find a fixed glass roof for the limited trim, letting in so much more light for this video, so I am appreciative. Optional on the XLE, by the way. Automatic climate control does come standard for all trim levels, so you just set that temperature, it's going to automatically hit it for you. Auto dimming rear view mirror with HomeLink controls for the XLE and limited trims. That's for up to 3 different garage doors, found the bottom portion of that rear view mirror there. Speaking of rear view mirror, let me not forget to mention this. When you flip it, it actually turns into a rear camera mirror. That is absolutely nuts. That's for the limited trim level, of course, but that is stinking cool, so I absolutely love that. Wireless phone charger for the XLE and limited trims. But one of my favorite parts about the interior is the hidden compartment located just in front of the cup holders. You would think it's not there because just in front of the cup holders you do have a little bit of storage there, but if you press in on that little arrow there and lift up, there is a hidden compartment underneath of that. So that is stinking cool. And it does say hashtag hidden compartment, hence the reason I knew it was a hidden compartment. But also you do have this nice cool blue ambient lighting that is found just kind of underneath of the climate control vents there. I think that's pretty cool. I would have loved to have seen it multicolor, but it's ambient lighting nonetheless, so I'm not going to complain. I think that's pretty nice. Just in front of the shifter, like I said, you got a little bit of storage there, 12-volt power outlet, couple USB charging ports. Just behind the shifter there, you have your wireless phone charger, and within the center armrest, not a ton of space, but it's a decent amount. It'll get the job done. You do have a couple more USB charging ports in there as well. So overall, the interior quality actually definitely gets the job done, so no issues for me. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the massive infotainment screen here. And it's not always massive, because 8-inch color touchscreen display is going to come on the LE and XLE, but then a 12.3-inch color touchscreen display for our limited trim level. So Bluetooth and audio streaming either way, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which by the way is wireless. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay does come standard. I love that. You can check out your driving statistics up there. There's radio information. And so when it comes to the sound systems, you're going to find 6 speakers for the LE and XLE trims, but then an 8-speaker JBL sound system for our limited that we have today. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a plenty fine sound system. 8 speakers in the sides of this vehicle. Nothing wrong. Ton of bass with that sound system, by the way. So yeah, I got no complaints there. But last thing I want to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the Prius in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. And there is a panoramic view monitor that is going to be optional, found on the left there, which we do have, by the way, which is always, it's going to lead us into safety. And so first, let me start by saying IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus, which is the very highest designation given by IIHS, so that pretty much says it all right there. Front side curtain airbags do come standard, rear side impact airbags as well. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 that gives you a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, dynamic radar cruise control, lane departure alert with steering assist, lane tracing assist, road sign assist, proactive driving assist, blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert, and safe exit assist as well. And then the XLE and Limited is going to add to that front and rear parking sensors. And so overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the Prius, this thing is plenty quick, especially on the get-go. That instant acceleration, thanks to it being a hybrid, is absolutely amazing. I love the steering feel. I love the braking. The braking feel really bites as well. So really, I'm just going to sum it up and say, believe it or not, the Prius has great driving dynamics. So I'm just going to put that out there. Brilliant design as well. I love the new look to the Prius. I think it looks a heck of a lot better than it used to. The design is amazing. Excellent MPGs as well. For me to get over 60 miles per gallon, that's just absolutely insane. You can't really beat that these days unless you go full electric. That is about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen if you want to see what's coming next on the channel before it gets to YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're new car reviews, because that is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video.